Look how tall these pines are. Wow, look at that. Good evening, everyone. YouTubers, fellow photographers and YouTubers. Today's video hopefully is going to be quite an interesting one. As you know, I've recently upgraded to a Canon 5D Mark II. One of the things that interests me or intrigues me is how it compares to the Mark I. So that's what I'm here today to do, I've got both cameras with me and I'm going to try, I'm not going to try, I am going to take some images using both cameras and compare them. Now, what I'm not going to do is make this a sort of a comparison video in that I'm going to be comparing every aspect of each camera. That would be pointless and rather silly, because obviously the 5D Mark II is a more advanced camera. It has more advanced technology, it's got far more functions, etc. on it. So, but what I do want to do is compare the image quality. I've read an awful lot, I've seen quite a few videos where people have claimed to have had the Mark I and then gone on to the Mark II or even the Mark III, have claimed that they've gone back to using the Mark I because they prefer the image quality. So I want to see if that's true, or if I sort of have the same opinion after I compare the two side by side. So what I'm going to do is, whatever shots I take here, and I'm up on Dartmoor, I'm going to be heading into this woodland behind me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use both cameras on the exact same settings, same ISO, same f-stop or aperture, same shutter speed, and with the same lens. And obviously both cameras are going to be mounted on a tripod. I've got an L bracket on both cameras, so I should be able to get the shots pretty much exactly the same. So yeah, let's see what happens. Doesn't get much better than this, does it, for landscape, woodland, sort of wild country photography. Got that leak down there, look, water running down there. Where that wall is. Off in the distance there's the lake. The other side of it there's Sheep's Tor, which is kind of like a bit of a mountain. Behind me, directly behind me, I've got Leather Tor, which is another kind of like a mountain-ish, a small mountain. And then I've got this lush woodland, a part of this area that I've not explored before. We got some really I think they're pines. Look how tall these pines are. Wow, look at that. So I'm going to have a wander around and explore it a little bit. See if I can find anything nice to photograph. Because we're kind of well into the middle of spring now, the greens, especially the new spring foliage on all the trees and the undergrowth and everything on the woodland floor and on the trees, looks really saturated. It's got that kind of new, fresh sort of look to the leaves. Now I'll just have a look at this tree here. Look at that, look how beautiful the greens are on that tree. I hope this is picking it out. Yeah, just they're almost luminous. They're so bright. The light's quite, it's really nice actually. It's quite subdued. Quite a lot of cloud around, but there's lots of breaks in the cloud too. So occasionally it cuts through, and it's about sort of 5:30, 5:45 in the evening. So around about the last 2.5 hours of light. So the sun's fairly low in the sky, and it's when it cuts through, it's creating some beautiful lighting the trees up beautifully. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to set up here and take a shot of this, what looks like a makeshift den, probably built by the people that come out here and do sort of woodland survival courses and things like that. But I know it's a kind of man-made structure, but you've got the juxtaposition of sort of nature and a man-made structure from nature, apart from the iron railings of course. But I also think it's going to give me a lot of, because the structure's a little bit messy around here, look. I think it's going to give me some nice contrast and detail to work with, which will give both the cameras a good test. Okay, first up I'm going to use the 5D Mark 1 with the 24 to 85mm lens. So I'm going to shoot at f11. I'm going to set the ISO to 50. That's giving me a shutter speed of 1 second, and I'm at around about 35mm. So we are now ready. I'm going to use autofocus on both cameras, because they both share the same autofocus system, so there's no room for me sort of not quite focusing properly on one or the other camera. Okay, so now I'm going to switch cameras, take the same shot. Okay, so I've got the Mark II now, so let's mount that on the tripod. Pretty much in the same spot. ISO 50, 2-second timer, f11, 1/3 of a second. Let's just check that the mirror's locked up here. 35mm. Take the shot.
Okay, so this is the raw file opened up in Photoshop from the 5D Mark 1. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at the detail in the branches, look at the colours, and as you can see there's quite a bit of nice detail in the branches there. Some nice overall contrast, the colours look pretty good. So yeah, for a 15-year-old camera, it's performed pretty well. The moss on the tree trunk there looks pretty good. But what I'm interested in is the area in the top left of the frame, which looks kind of blown out because there was quite a bit of blue in the sky in that area, and obviously the camera's not been able to handle that particular area of the frame. So obviously the dynamic range of the 5D Mark 1 is obviously limited, but nevertheless it's a great file from a 15-year-old camera. Okay, so this is the 5D Mark 2 image. And straight away you can see that there's a lot more colour, a lot more dynamic range. The detail is much better. But when we focus in on the sticks there, the detail is much sharper. The detail on the railings and on the foreground, more detail, just lots more detail all round. And the dynamic range on the top left of the frame, we can now see the blues through the branches in the sky, which we couldn't see with the 5D Mark I. So yeah, definitely quite a significant improvement in image quality.
Got these beautiful silver birches, kind of a row of them. You can see those there, those silver birches. The only thing I don't like is the fact that they've got the fence behind them. Yeah, I really like them, I really do, they're really nice. I'm thinking that these silver birch trees that I like, these ones that run along the edge of this bank here, I actually think they look better from sort of lower down here, so I'm kind of looking up at them, and I can use the bank as a leading line, and then there's 5 silver birch trees there just kind of growing out of that bank, and they've kind of got some twisty sort of trunks going on, and yeah, I really like them. So I'm gonna try and take that shot, and again I'm going to use both cameras. So let's see what happens. Okay, so I've just taken that image of those trees there with the 5D Mark II, and I'm about to take the same image with the Mark I. So let's have a look. Let's see what happens. Okay, so as I'm coming down this lane here, I wanted to get an image with both cameras that gives me some sort of long distance depth of field and some sky interest. And I saw this, and the light's hitting quite nicely on that peak there, and as you can see I've poked the camera through the wire. Let's just switch the camera on so you can see my shot. So there's the shot. So I've got the wall here as a leading line, and I've got the layers of woodland in all the different shades and different colours, and then the lights hitting that hill, mountain over there, and then we've got some really nice cloud detail going on. So I'm going to take that shot with both cameras, and I'm shooting at 24mm, and let's see how that looks. Okay, so the Mark 1 in the exact same position, 15th of a second, same settings, what is it, f11, ISO 50. So I'm going to take the same shot. The light has changed slightly, but let's just see what happens. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know which camera you think was the best, which images you like the best. Yeah, leave comments, let me know. Hit the subscribe button, give me a like, and thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your continued support, and I will see you in the next video.